Anyway, if something went wrong with this job, my partner Sam Bridges handled all the details like this. Maybe his name rings a bell. He's Evan Jones's father.
Constable Jones's father is a commander in the police force. You mentioned his name to us yesterday.
No, I mean his real father. Reg Jones is his adopted father.
Well, where is this Sam Bridges? I might need to talk to him about some of this.
He's dead. He killed himself.
He was found in a chair in the side office, cause of death now through the skull. The nail that killed him was found in the wall behind him.
Oh, Junior. I heard that you'd followed in your old man's footsteps.
Your father dies in mysterious circumstances. You suddenly join the police force and end up stationed in Mount Thomas.
Well, I won't deny that I'm interested to shed a little light on the subject of Sam's death.
You joined up to do that?
Family tradition. I'm a Jones.
It's been brought to my attention that your Detective Hasham has been asking for some paperwork involving the death of Mr. Sam Bridges, formerly in partnership with a man called Les Anderson. If you were to tell Detective Hasham there was no connection, then he would cease to look into the death of Mr. Bridges. You're thinking there's some sort of corruption involved, aren't you?
I'm not really sure what to think, sir.
Best not to think at all. Talk to Detective Hasham, and then forget we had this conversation.
Vodka, no icings, Chris.
Your father's already waiting for you in the dining room.
You scrub up all right, don't you? Special occasion?
Not for me.
Good word in for us.
What the hell do you think you're doing, putting the kibosh on any further investigation into Sam Bridges' death?
Don't beat around the bush, son. Come right out and say what's on your mind.
I've seen the coroner's report. It could have been murder.
I'm gonna tell you this once. Sam Bridges was a nice man, but a weak one always was, way back. A married man playing games with your mother. Gets her into trouble. Does he stand by her? No, I'm the one who pulled his coals out of the fire that time.
All right, so that's why you married Mum, to help out an old mate.
I married your mother because I loved her. You suggest anything else and I'll flatten you.
Look, Commander Jones has a lot of clout. So be very careful, very discreet, and keep me in the picture. Do we understand each other?
I never saw Sam so much as glance at a form guy.
Well, that's what problem gamblers do. They don't make it public, do they?
Here you go, Commander. Last of the case.
Wonderful.
I hope you don't mind me mentioning this, but the acoustics in old places like this can get a bit dicey. Never know who might be hearing what. So, have you decided what you'd like to eat?
Lost my appetite.
I mean, I know he's a commander, but why does everyone regard Reg Jones with such awe?
Because the man's a legend. He's the real thing, Joe.
I'll ask you again, Jones. What's going on? That blue you and your dad had in the pub last night...
Just a
will be all
family
right.
squabble.
Well, it's not going to look that way to others. They're going to see it as a very junior member taking on a very senior one in a very public place and getting away with it.
Did Dad put you up to this?
I beg your pardon?
Where's the loyalty down here, boss? Whose side are you on?
Get out.
That loyalty crack you just made, that doesn't apply in any way to Tom Croydon. He will protect his troops to the last. But he needs the same degree of loyalty coming back.
Yeah, I grew up on all this.
Well, then you know what I'm talking about. This station operates on trust. We'll trust you, but you've got to trust us.
Look, I went out on a limb to tell you what I suspected,
If you
okay?
believe Commander Jones is involved in some sort of cover-up, then it's your duty to report those suspicions, not just to me, higher up.
What, so I'm supposed to accuse a senior officer of perverting the course of justice and corrupt conduct without evidence?
Without evidence, you shouldn't even be talking about it. Not to me, not to anyone. Commander Jones has had a very distinguished career. If he's done what you claim, then you shouldn't save his neck. But if he's innocent, then it's a terrible thing to ruin his reputation with unfounded allegations.
So it's down to evidence?
Sergeant Brenda Harvey takes over the investigation.
Yeah, I was interviewed by her at the time. So what's her story? Is she as bright as she seems?
Very bright. It's on a fast track just like this one. Right, now, the brief to the coroner suggests Bridges' death is either suicide or an industrial accident with a nail gun. No sign of foul play was suggested.
And the coroner brings in an open finding. I missed the inquest. I was supposed to appear. I arrived on the day that it was scheduled, and they told me that it had been brought forward to the previous Friday.
What is it?
The statement that I made, it's not here. And I'm not listed as a
Jones,
witness.
listen to me. Now, if you've got a choice between foul up or conspiracy, always choose foul up. All right. I'll give Harvey a call.
Sarge, a bit of progress on the Arnie Reiner poisoning.
Tell me.
EPA's given me a list of companies that dealt with DDT.
Right, you'll start checking
Yeah,
out.
how did insecticide end up in landfill at Coppins?
Be discreet, Joe.
Yeah, as always.
No, be more discreet than usual.
Well, as if that were possible.
Brenda Harvey will meet us halfway along the St David's Road.
Right.
But she doesn't want any witnesses.
Loves fresh air.
What sort of questions about the Bridges inquest?
Constable Jones says he took a statement from him. It doesn't seem to be on file.
Sam Bridges topped himself. End of story. Jones's statement was never relevant.
You must have known that before you took it. His statement consisted of certain
Unsubstantiated allegations against someone not known to us.
Liz Anderson.
So Jones has been talking to you too, has he? Look, he told me Sam Bridges was his natural father. Didn't want to believe the man topped himself. I can understand that.
He says he was called as a witness, and then the date of the inquest was brought forward without his being informed.
I couldn't find him to notify him. And informing him would have been courtesy only. He was next of kin. He was never called as a witness.
So you know nothing further.
I know nothing further because there's nothing further to know. And if you're as smart as they say you are, you'll know nothing further as well.
What's the point? We're supposed to decode from that.
Some braid took an interest in this case, and as far as they're concerned, it's closed. A dead issue.
Having been warned off twice, I suppose you still want to pursue it.
Just like you would.
Using me as a role model, it's not a good idea, Tess.
I've just had Sergeant Brenda Harvey on the blower.
That was quick.
What did I say to you? Be careful, be very discreet. Keep me in the picture. And what do? You go and talk to Brenda Harvey, who would sell her grandma for a leg up the ladder.
What did she say?
To get you two back on the leash.
Boss, if this is a conspiracy to cover up a murder, we've got to keep going.
I'm not saying to stop. I'm saying to use the brains God gave you. Keep me informed so that when I'm getting a kicking, at least I know what it's for. Well, say what you were going to say.
There's another statement missing from a bloke called Pedals.
Pedals.
Yeah, Jason Rose. He was working for Anderson and Bridges at the time of Sam's death and still working for the firm. He told me the other day that he made a statement and it's not here. I know Pedals pretty well, so I'll come if you like.
No.
Thanks, Jones.
Sarge, we may have struck pay dirt with one of the chemical companies the EPA put us onto. The toxic waste disposal firm they use belongs to Peter Vella.
Who also provides clean landfill for Les Anderson's building site.
You got it.
I'm being sidelined here, right?
For your own good.
Okay. It bugged me what happened to Sam. There's no way he would have topped himself. He was an easy-going kind of guy. You got a kick out of life. He wouldn't lift a nail gun and... Unless he's trying to pull some practical joke that just went wrong.
But you don't think that's what happened?
Well, look, you work with them things. You don't play with them.
So what did happen?
I don't know. I wasn't there. But I got on the juice one night and I mentioned it to Les.
How did he react?
He went ape. He told me he had a mate who was a very senior police officer. Someone he known for more than 30 years.
Name?
No name, no pack drill. But he said, if I keep shooting my mouth off, I find myself in real strife.
Like?
You know, driving along one night, cops pull me over, find a plastic bag of powder in me boot.
Are you sure he didn't mention the name of this copper?
I could take a wild guess.
People never want to believe suicide. It's a very common response.
Everyone believes that it was out of character for Sam.
Well, everyone may not know the circumstances behind it, how far down the toilet he was with his gambling.
And it still doesn't explain why a high-ranking officer has stepped in and told us to back off.
True.
PJ says he wants to withdraw his statement.
Look, come into my
No,
office.
there's nothing to discuss, mate. I said things I shouldn't have.
Even if they were true?
What? There's no way in hell I could know Sam's death wasn't suicide. And what Les told me was off the record. I shouldn't have repeated it.
Did Les Anderson have a quiet word to you, did he?
No, this is all about me. I want to withdraw. I never said nothing.
Great. I'm going out for a while.
Anything we should know about?
Not just yet.
Remember our watchword on this one, boss.
Discretion, Teresa. Discretion.
Problem, Senior Sergeant?
I'd prefer not to discuss it in the corridor, sir.
Can you make this brief, Senior Sergeant? I'm due back in Melbourne.
I think you know why I'm here, sir.
Subject is not open to discussion.
Mr. Jones, certain allegations have been made with respect to the circumstances of Sam Bridges' death.
Unfounded allegations.
We won't know that until it's been investigated. At the moment, our hands are tied. It doesn't take much to detect the odour of a cover-up, and with respect, that you are involved in that cover-up.
Are you sure that you want to be having this conversation, Senior Sergeant?
I think it's necessary, yes.
Because I suggest that you don't take it any further.
Your suggestion noted, sir.
You may find yourself in charge of transport at Brunswick.
Sir, do you wish to tell me anything in regard to these allegations?
Think it through, Croydon.
Sir, I've afforded you the opportunity to give me a satisfactory explanation. If this is to be your attitude, you leave me no choice but to take the facts to my superiors and subsequently ESD.
You will take me to ESD.
Correct,
How
sir.
dare you come into my room and threaten me?
I consider it my duty, sir.
Okay, Senior Sergeant. Go ahead.
PJ. Sergeant. Brace yourselves, we're in for a bumpy ride.
Care to be a little more specific?
I just raised the spectre of ESD with Commander Jones.
Right. So what now?
It's not going to stop there. I expect he'll marshal his considerable resources and make life very miserable for us. So from now on, keep on your toes.
Evan, I'm trying to have a private word with my son.
Something I can help you with, sir?
I'd like to borrow your room so I can have a quiet word with my son.
With respect, he's still on duty, and I'm still in charge of this station.
I'm well aware of that, Senior Sergeant.
Then I remind you, he's my responsibility, and I insist on being present at any conversation.
As you wish. Time you knew the truth.
The truth according to who?
Evan, you've been trying to dig up the dirt, trying to prove what a saint your natural father was. Well, I've been trying to spare you some of the nastier aspects of his life. Now, last night I told you Sam was weak. Well, he was worse than that. He was downright criminal. I've risked my career to try and shield you from reality, but you won't let go. I suggest you read this file.
And what's in it?
If he was still alive, enough to charge him with embezzlement. Sam was looting the company funds to support his gambling habit.
Yeah, I've heard all this crap before.
Yeah, well, here's all the evidence. The company records, Sam's TAB account. Read 'em. And weep, son.
And where'd they come from?
What does it matter? They're genuine.
Do these documents relate to Sam Bridges' death?
Indirectly.
They came from Les Anderson, didn't they? There's no way I'd ever believe anything that came from that bastard. Poison tree, poison fruit.
Have these been cited before? How is it possible you can produce them now?
Get 'em read by anybody you like, any expert you know. Then face facts.
Where'd this stuff come from?
Commander Jones.
No. Where's it been all this time?
I don't know, ask him.
Okay, I'm no accountant, but I spent some time in the game, so do you want a lay opinion?
Yeah.
It's dynamite. Sam Bridges would have been put away if this stuff had come out.
But it didn't. That must mean other people were involved.
Or the commander was protecting Sam's reputation.
Look, it's a setup, PJ. It's got to be.
Either way, Commander Jones has put his career under the gun.
So, you want us to pull the trigger?
We talked to the people of that factory that uses Peter Vella to get rid of their toxic waste.
Yeah, everything seems to be above board.
Laws read the disposal of the stuff are very strict, but Vella qualifies.
He's licensed, has an EPA-approved facility.
It's shaping up as a model situation.
Except that Vella's connected with Anderson.
This the one-note Samby you're singing, Jonesy?
Arnie Reiner got poisoned from landfill Vella supplied to a Les Anderson project. Surely no one disputes that.
How does that incriminate Anderson?
He must have known.
Stick to the facts. Don't juggle them about to suit your preconceived ideas.
Joe?
Look, if anyone's guilty, it's Peter Vella.
Evan, find something to do. Oh, better still, deliver these.
Right.
Is it just me, or does he seem a bit too happy to oblige there?
Sarge, I might just give him a hand. How come you're so keen to deliver blueies again?
I can do it on my own. It's no big deal.
Just wanted some fresh air, hey?
Yeah, something like that.
Ever get the feeling you're not being told everything?
All the time.
People keep secrets from you too, do they?
Yeah, my father did.
Which one? Okay, so we're gonna do what now? Apart from deliver blueies.
Travelling in pairs now, like pigeons.
This facility of yours, the one you use to dispose of the toxic waste, you want to show it to us?
No, not particularly.
We're asking nicely.
When you worked for Les and Sam, you seemed like a decent bloke. Stick a uniform on, you start slinging your weight about. What the hell's all this about, mate?
Arnie Reiner's death.
What about it?
You could be looking at manslaughter. Reckless conduct, endangering life. So you're going to take this rap on your own? Or are you going to start talking about Les Anderson's part in all this?
Leave now.
Come on, let's go.
Now stay out of it, Joe. Do yourself a favour, mate, and speak now.
Well, what? You gonna slap my wrist?
Hey, come on, let's go, Jonesy.
Yeah, piss off. I know my rights.
Got any more tricks up your sleeve, Copperfield?
No, I'm fresh out.
Better curb that temper of yours or you're going to get yourself in big trouble.
Look, we don't have to tell anyone about it, do we?
What? Keep it a secret? Be discreet?
We could go and see that film tonight.
Nice try. Sounds more like bribery and corruption to me.
On a very small scale.
Look, you don't give a damn about who killed Arnie. You just want to nail Anderson.
Look, it's all part of the same picture.
How would I know? Nobody tells me a thing.
And how is Peter Vella's waste cleaning facility?
Were we going to mention
Yeah,
that?
I've had him on the phone for the last 10 minutes.
Look, don't blame Joe.
Why not? She's a big girl. She can take it.
Look, I just thought it'd be useful to drop by on the way back to see if Vella's facility
And you
was still
dragged
running.
Joe along.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
And is it?
Is what?
Is Vella's facility still operating?
He refused to let us inspect.
Well, he was perfectly within his rights.
He was evasive, obstructive, very sure of his
None
rights.
of them are crimes.
Can we have a word? Am I part of this team or not?
Yeah, of course you are.
But I can't be trusted. I've got a big mouth. Is that it?
No, it's not that. It's just things are a bit delicate at the moment.
And I'm indelicate, am I? Why doesn't someone level with me? I could take it.
Don't make it personal, because it's not. It's just...
What is it then?
If there's any fallout from any of this, I don't want you caught up in it, okay? But as soon as the air is clear...
I'll be the last to know. Yeah, whatever.
Chris, you would have known Sam Bridges, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. When he and Les Anderson were doing that Cobden Street development, they'd come in here for lunch, drop in after work sometimes.
And what kind of a bloke would you say he was?
Oh, he's lovely.
Would you say he had any vices?
We've all got vices, sweetheart, even me. What's all this about?
Well, people are saying he was a red-hot gambler.
What people?
Just people.
Can't have known him.
G'day. I was hoping you'd be here. I read that file that Commander Jones handed over.
It's a fairy tale. A fit-up, a work of fiction.
This thing about Sam Bridges and gambling. He was in here one Melbourne Cup day and I tried to sell him a ticket in the sweep and he wouldn't buy one. So I asked him, was he a Methodist? And he said he'd done his fair share of gambling as a young bloke and he didn't owe the bookies any more favours.
He didn't gamble at all.
That's my take on it.
See?
You guys eating?
No.
Yeah.
Well, he could have given up the gambling, fallen off the wagon, and kept it secret.
I think we should have a talk to Les Anderson.
About?
Well, about the poison landfill, of course. But if Sam's gambling just happens to come up in conversation.
Yeah, well, Sam always had a problem with the gambling, you know, even as a young bloke. I can remember one time we both lost our wages. We swore we'd never gamble again. Well, I didn't, he did.
It didn't worry you having a gambler for a partner?
Well, it would have if I'd just met him, but we'd been mates for years, you know. Our partnership lasted longer than both of our marriages.
That close, huh?
Yeah, sort of like brothers. Then one day I walk in here and I find him dead. Sitting in the chair where you're sitting, actually. I get the auditors in and it's a bloody nightmare. He's into the firm for a six-figure sum. So I have a rat around in his desk and that's when I find the tab accounts.
So why didn't this come out of the inquest?
For the simple reason that him and his son had just found each other again and the money was gone, so why cause unnecessary pain? So I picked up the phone and I rang Reg Jones and I asked him to do me a favour.
To cover up the embezzlement?
No, not as blunt as that. It was more like, why drag it out into the open, you know? He was a mate to both of us.
These TAB accounts.
Yeah, what about him?
Didn't you know about him?
Well, if I would have known about him, I would have pulled the plug on him. You know, what can you do? Addicts are cunning people, am I right? Doesn't matter whether it's drugs or sex or gambling. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal, they'll do anything to feed the habit. And they can be the nicest people in the world. And they'll betray you just like that.
We think Anderson has been snowing us.
What? Why?
Well, he's not the sort to be shy about speaking his mind.
Except last night, he was all hearts and flowers.
All we got was this sensitive New Age guy act.
And how convincing was that?
Bottom line, we believe you.
Well, how much do you believe?
That Commander Jones agreed to cover up something for Anderson.
Want to see my son?
I don't know that that'd be in the best interests of anyone, sir.
There's something I want to straighten out with him. I give you my word that I won't interfere with your investigation. You've got children, Senior Sergeant. You know what it's like. Now look, son. This isn't easy for me. I've never been too good at the personal stuff.
Yeah, I noticed.
Okay.
Took me 20-odd years, but I did notice.
Okay, maybe I was tougher on you than I needed to be.
And who's arguing?
But sometimes I could see Sam's genes in you, that rebel streak. Had to try and knock it out of you and instill some sort of values.
Look, is there some point to all this?
After your mother died, I never thought anything could hurt me again. But you've managed it.
I've done what?
You've hurt me.
You.
And it hurts like hell. Imagine that, eh? Grown man having hurt feelings.
Yeah, we do get them.
Yeah, well, your generation might. Look, I was a good father to you for 25 years. Then you meet Sam, and it's hero worship all the way. You thought the sun shone out of him.
I wasn't like that.
I was there. Trained observer.
He never replaced you.
And then the weak bastard wouldn't stand by your mother when he got her into trouble.
He was married at the time.
A decent man would have worked something out. Then after Sam died, Les shows me the evidence. I can see what that'll do to you. So what do? Muggins here goes to bat one last time and hushes it up. My career is the last thing I've got left. I could be chief commissioner, but if this hits a fan, I'm gonna have to pull the pin.
Dad, I didn't realise.
What? That I cared enough to protect my son's feelings?
I just couldn't see any other explanation.
Except corruption. Well, in case I haven't made it clear, I'm not corrupt. I did it for you.
How could I have got it so wrong? I got two dads and I misjudged them both.
So now you believe Commander Jones?
It took me back to the father I'd known for years. Not the one that I'd just been blooming with lately. The one who set guidelines, rewarded effort, punished slackness. Taught me how to kick a footy. Yeah, I believe him. He put his career on the line for an old mate, but mainly for me. I didn't even know what to say to him. I couldn't even say thank you.
Evan, you do realise that it doesn't matter what he says or does now, what spin he tries to put on it. He's crossed the line. Everything's in motion. Can't be stopped.
So, Les was plausible about the TAB account?
Said it came from Sam's desk.
It sounded reasonable.
New and improved Les Anderson, what can I say?
Oh, I know that guy better than any of you. He lies through his teeth.
Oh, and that comes from a totally unbiased source.
Hey, how'd you go at St David's? I talked to the other 3 chemical firms that handled DDT.
Anything interesting?
One of them checked their records for the time Arnie's block was filled, and guess what? They couldn't use Peter Vella's waste cleaning facility at the time.
Why not?
Out of order for a month. A whole month when he couldn't have processed any waste at all. And it was the same month he provided clean fill for Arnie's block.
I'm busy right now. Got to earn a buck, you know.
Busier than the time your waste cleaning facility went on the blink?
Don't know what you're raving about.
Talking about the dumping of untreated toxic waste that later became Arnie Ryan.
Peter, you gonna give me a lift to the station or what?
I'd been losing customers hand over fist. I mean, I'd been loyal to them. No loyalty back, no sir.
Well, why didn't you tell the other firms the mess you're in?
Oh, you tell people you're in trouble. It's like blood in the water. Credit dries up, banks start looking twice at you, and then your customers start walking out the door.
So what happened?
Well, there was this job, worth a couple of grand. Well, Les was screaming out for landfill. I said I had a problem.
And Les said?
Les has always been a loyal customer to me. I wanted to oblige him. Well, he wanted to oblige me. One hand washes another, you know what I mean.
Did money happen to drop into any of these hands?
I split the 2 grand with him. Look, it was deep, Phil. It wasn't like spread on the surface or anything. An old man of gardening could have dug down that far.
What about a swimming pool?
In ground.
They would have had to excavate all that waste coming up to the surface, mixing in with the landscape.
The idiot. The deal. I mean, what was he going doing excavating for?
Maybe he wanted a swimming pool. Not a bad one at that. I've tried it.
Arnie Ryan was mad. Everybody knows that.
What? Mad to trust people not to build his house on top of toxic waste? Or mad because his system was riddled with DDT?
It wasn't my fault. So when's the court case?
You'll be advised.
And Les Anderson, what about him? I mean, he sucked me into it.
I can't comment on that. So now we know there's more than one cover-up going on, eh?
And Anderson's not as squeaky clean as he makes out.
And why am I not surprised?
Maybe we should turn over a few more rocks to see what falls out.
What rocks are those?
Like getting a warrant to have a look at Sam Bridges' TAB account.
Is this something I said? Something I ate? Is the deodorant on the fritz?
Right, I took it upon myself to have a yarn with Les Anderson
We
last night.
both did.
Do go on.
It was about Arnie Reiner's death.
Now, Anderson had said that Sam Bridges handled the details on the landfill.
Vella has since named Anderson.
We'd formed the theory that Sam's gambling problem...
Alleged gambling
That's
problem.
alleged gambling problem might have made him vulnerable to offers of money to turn a blind eye to unsafe practices.
And we now know that Anderson was on the take.
And if Sam had some gambling problem and was ripping off the firm, why would he leave his TAB accounts just lying around for anyone to see?
Question, where did Anderson really get it from?
Hence the warrant. If Vaudeville hadn't died out, you two would have made a great double act. All right, go on, off you go. Go ahead.
Meanwhile, I could go after Anderson on the poisoning case.
You've got to be kidding.
And Peter Vella's a liar.
His statement is consistent.
Yeah? Give me a check, did he? Got a receipt? Then you're on a fishing expedition, you've got nothing.
It's a strange way for an innocent man to deny it.
Now listen, if any money did change hands, it went straight to Sam Bridges. And he put it on a slow horse within an hour.
Funny how often dead men get blamed for things. It's almost as if they attract it.
You've got a peculiar sense of humour, you know. If you find anything remotely funny about my dead partner.
Let me be frank, Mr. Anderson. If you took money to allow contaminated waste to be dumped on that site and that poisoned Arnie Reiner, you're in serious trouble. You're under investigation, Anderson. I'd be very careful what you said.
Or what? That it could be taken down and used in evidence against me?
You said it first.
Bullfeds.
Boss, I just had Hazel Bridges on the phone, Sam Bridges' ex-wife.
Must have been very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward, her being Sam's wife when Mum fell pregnant with me. Anyway, she says Sam never gambled again after he lost his wages as a young bloke.
When did the marriage break up?
A couple of years ago.
Maybe he started gambling again after she left him.
Oh, yeah, that's possible, but I never saw it when I worked for him. And the second thing she says...
Yeah?
I told her about Les Anderson supposed to have taken a pledge to stop gambling.
And?
She laughed. She said Les kept that pledge for the best part of a week. 4 days, to be exact.
Well, Sergeant, I think perhaps we should keep Mr. Anderson under surveillance for a while.
Evan, you enjoy.
Me?
Yeah. Yes.
We're a fair way out of town.
Must be heading towards Flat Gully. Why do you want to go there?
Hey, just don't lose him.
Sit back and relax, Constable.
What did I tell you? You've lost him.
Who's robbing this coach? What have we got here?
TAB.
Bingo. Hey, hold it, partner. He knows you.
Yeah, and he knows you too.
Yes, but I'm more discreet. And there he was, large as life, the man who never bets at the counter, handing over a wad of bills.
Well, while you were out, I paid our local TAB a visit.
No, you're the betting type, Sarge.
I happen to have a warrant with me.
What, to get the details of Sam's account?
And I have to tell you, he was a really mad gambler. He died on the 28th of June in the year 2000. In the following 6 months, he managed to place no less than 33 bets. Talk about compulsive. He came back from the grave to do it.
3 TABs in the area recognise Les Anderson as a regular, but cash only. On the other hand, Sam Bridges didn't ring a bell.
Well, it has been more than a year.
Still, he had an account with a lot of money going through it.
However, Les Anderson, who says he swore off gambling years ago, regularly bets 4 figures, up to and including yesterday.
So, if anybody was bilking the company to pay off gambling debts, your bet would be Les Anderson.
Makes you wonder what he told Dad at the time of Sam's death, doesn't it?
Sir, your behaviour in relation to the evidence you withheld from the coroner was totally inappropriate. You left me no choice other than to report what I've learned to the Ethical Standards Department.
Only a matter of time. I've been waiting for the axe to fall. Okay, here it is. Les, Sam and I go way back, but our lives took very different paths.
But when he found Sam dead, Les contacted you.
Rang me on a Sunday morning. He was in a blind panic. He said that Sam had been gambling heavily. Been tickling the till, didn't want it to get out.
That didn't strike you as strange?
Well, he said if it got out, the firm's accounts would dry up, the vultures would start circling, and he also expressed concern about what this might do to my son, Evan. Played on my weakness.
We've also turned up information which suggests that Les Anderson may have misled you about his gambling habits. He bets heavily, has done for years.
Yeah, but so did Sam. The accounts prove
There may
that.
be some doubt about them.
Not only have I scuttled my career, I've backed the wrong man.
It would be inappropriate for me to comment. We're still investigating.
Les was the one who gave me that file.
Which you sat on at the time.
Only out of concern for my son.
You understand, don't you, Commander, that if it turns out that it was Les doing the embezzling and, worst case scenario,
Sam's death was murder. "35 years on the job. One day I let my feelings for my son get the better of me. If Les Anderson killed Sam Bridges, I want his head on a plate.
Why did you lie to us about not gambling?
Because I didn't think it was any of your business.
So you lied.
It's not a crime to lie to the police, unless you're making up laws to suit yourself.
You bet large sums?
It's a hobby. You pay for your hobbies. But I don't bet more than I can afford.
So what are you saying? You're not a good punter? You lose at it?
No, on the contrary, I'm a good punter. I got a system. I win.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, mug punters. They always count their winnings, but never their losses.
poor old Sam Bridges would have to be the biggest mug punter of all time, wouldn't he? Still placing bets after he was dead.
You used his TAB account, didn't you?
You can't prove that.
Look, we understand. I mean, he robbed you blind, Les.
You're only getting back what was rightfully yours.
Don't know what you're talking about.
We're talking about you using Sam Bridges' TAB account.
After he was dead, maybe even before.
How'd you get his PIN number? Was it written down somewhere?
I didn't use his account.
Did you set it up from the start? Were you Sam Bridges?
I say we do it for wrongful use of Sam's TAB account.
And he'll get a slap on the wrist and a chance to defame Sam's memory in court.
Well, so we don't pursue it? He's literally getting away with murder. Look, he took a bribe from Peter Vella and Arnie Reiner ended up dead.
That's over to homicide now.
We only have Vella's word against Anderson for that.
He used Sam's account, embezzled company funds, probably even murdered Sam.
You be careful where you say that.
And we can't do anything?
Are you satisfied with your treatment by the police here today?
Yeah, why wouldn't I be? Not every day a bloke gets treated like a criminal.
Yeah, I look forward to the day where you really are.
Hey, Constable.
Want to spell that out a bit more, pal?
Means I'm on to you.
Jones,
That's
enough.
right, Sarge. Put your monkey back in his cage.
Hey! Jones!
That's enough! That's enough!
Your mates just saved you from a flogging, boy. Go on. Struggle. Go on, kid. Give the boy an Oscar.
You're no longer required here, Mr. Anderson. Could you please leave? Right, Jones, you're off duty as of now. Get your stuff and get out of here. We might talk about this tomorrow. Are you calm again?
Yes, Senior Sergeant.
Are you able to obey a lawful instruction?
Yes, Senior Sergeant.
You joined the police force shortly after your natural father's death and then applied to come here where that death occurred.
I thought we'd dealt with this.
I'd hate to think you were entertaining some fantasy about proving Sam's death was murder, tracking down the killer and executing vigilante justice.
Fantasy's not my thing.
Indulge me, son.
Like I said,
And
boss,
don't play semantics with me.
nothing like that, no.
Good. Because if I thought for a moment you joined the police force for some personal vendetta, then I'd do my utmost to get rid of you.
Understood.
And believe me, that is no fantasy either.
Hey, Jonesy, you feeling better, mate?
How about fixed tonight?
Sorry, Joe.
That's not Josephine's story of my life.
Sarge, can I have a word?
Yeah, sure.
Look, I know I've been a pain in the arse in the last week. I just want to apologise.
Hey, it's fine with me. You'll still have to mend your fences with the boss.
Yeah, I realise that, but you're the one I really didn't want to get offside. We're still friends?
Oi, your dad's in there if you're interested.
I'd better get back to my game on a winning streak.
Evan.
Dad, if I hadn't started digging around, none of this would have come out and you would have nothing.
I'm quitting, son. Handing him a notice.
You're retiring.
Got to stay ahead of the posse.
You're the man I most respect in the world.
I'm not going to make police commissioner anymore, so that's over to you now. Handing over the baton.
Yeah, I don't know whether I could live up to that. I love you, Dad.
I could never say that to my own father. I felt it, though. It's mutual, son. It's very mutual. Okay, come on, look, enough of all that. What are you having, red or white?
Yeah, red.
Just as well, because that's what I've ordered and that's what you have.